Rilakkuma and Kaoru is a cozy, lazy, and strikingly relatable show about an average Japanese woman and her pets/roommates. A neurotic bird obsessed with cleaning, and a couple of sleepy bears. But not unlike the ever-yawning titular lead, too many people are sleeping on Rilakkuma and Kaoru. Rilakkuma is one of Japan's near-infinite supply of mascot characters. Created by Aki Kondo in 2003, he has since become the face of stationery company San-X, adorning pens, binders, keychains, plush toys, and this train. A TV show is just another predictable step in the world domination plans of any character cute enough to bankrupt a nation with their merch. But something is different in Netflix's Rilakkuma and Kaoru. In this short-form, 13-episode animation, whose tiny total runtime is just begging to be binged, we can exist, just for a moment, in the warm lives of Kaoru, Rilakkuma, Korilakkuma and Kiroi Tori. It's one of the most relaxing, comforting and brilliantly funny shows I've watched this year, and it's a bear hug of an antidote to a lot of life's day-to-day woes. Rilakkuma and Kaoru is a show deeply concerned with simple, down-to-earth, day-to-day problems. We connect with Kaoru because her existence is a never-ending gauntlet of questions on how exactly to live as her life transitions to something more grown-up and altogether more complicated. Why are all my friends drifting apart? How do I start an adult relationship? Am I working to live or living to work? Do aliens like dried squid? That last one aside, Kaoru is the anchor of the show. Through her we see our own neuroses and self-doubt.
We have to do something! Not this!
Have I truly become an adult? When is everyone going to realise I'm still just a kid who hasn't quite mastered how to fake it? And seriously, do aliens like dried squid? Rilakkuma, on the other hand, is the yin to Kaoru's yang. Whilst she's a bundle of indecisive nerves who cares far too much about how others perceive her, Rilakkuma is chilled out, confident and content to live in his own skin, of which he has many. His name literally translates to relax bear, and episode to episode he lives up to it. Throughout the show's run, Kaoru finds herself looking to Rilakkuma and finding answers in his easygoing life. A surprising angle, considering the studio who made it. They worked tirelessly for 2 years bringing these bears to beautiful stop-motion life, and yet the product is something that speaks to the value of relaxing, not worrying about the little things, and never, ever choosing between takoyaki and edamame. As winter fast approaches, as the nights draw in and we wrap ourselves up in thick blankets and spare bear suits, the show balances its optimistic nature with a dose of melancholia. Like Agretzko before it, a series that bet the farm on a relatability tinged with sadness and dissatisfaction, Rilakkuma and Kaoru understands that not every day is a picnic. Life has its ups and downs, and instead of trying to bypass or fix those missteps, it reinforces the importance of perspective. With each final title card, we're reminded it's about how we approach life's speed bumps, rather than avoiding them altogether. In using mascot characters in such subversive ways, Netflix is making a statement that shouldn't go overlooked. Previously, these types of cash-ins would have been just that. Simple parades of recognisable faces in cute scenarios, aimed squarely at shifting merch to the most vulnerable of viewers. But Rilakkuma and Kaoru has something to say, and it does so at the expense of its appeal. this is not a kids' show, not at all. To get the most out of Rilakkuma and Kaoru, life has to have kicked you down a couple of times.
And I got hit by a truck. Instant death.
Which is why when the show juxtaposes its most mundane problems, like how to get motivated to stay in shape or why you weren't invited out to the group date, with the ludicrous storylines of a winter-themed fever dream or being rocked to sleep by a giant panda, it feels like a much-needed escape. It's because the show is so grounded that these bizarre distractions work so well, and seem to accentuate the show's duller beats in wonderful ways. Nothing gold can stay. This is ultimately what Rilakkuma and Kaoru has to say. It's the fleeting nature of beauty that makes it beautiful to begin with. It's the shortness of life that makes it so vibrant. It's the small size of the dango that makes it so sweet. Rilakkuma and Kaoru isn't a traditional seasonal show, and yet it deals exclusively in seasons. In the highs and lows of any given year, and the ebb and flow of our feelings throughout. At just 12 minutes per episode over its tiny core, the show itself is fleeting, there just for a moment, and it's vital to lending the run that ephemeral beauty it trades in. Judging by how long it took to make, and how little a splash it seems to have made, it may indeed be the only season we get, doubling down on that transient nature. In the months since I first blasted through Rilakkuma and Kaoru, I've thought about it endlessly, revisited it on a number of occasions when I was feeling low, and have grown to love every episode for a wholly different reason. It really is a special animation, not just for how beautiful it looks and sounds, but how reassuring it feels. Life moves on. Spring rolls around again and ushers in fresh starts and terrifying, exciting changes. Life can often feel hectic and uncontrollable and altogether too much, but it's at these moments it's more important than ever to wrap up with something warm and escape, with aliens and dancing snowmen and ghostly girls with a grudge. It's comforting to remember that everyone struggles with this thing called life, but it's even more important to turn to our favourite bear and remember to just relax.